Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Game of Thrones English lesson. My name's Johnny, this is Near Native English, and today we're going to look at episode 2, The Kingsroad. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first up, let's recap everyone's steps for episode 2. So most of the Starks are still in Winterfell, but Tyrion, Jon Snow and his uncle Benji have travelled with some other guys over to Castle Black. And also the King's family, as well as Ned, Sansa and Arya, are on the Kingsroad, on their way back to King's Landing. And lastly, we have Daenerys and her new husband, Khal Drogo, and their company that have just left Pentos and are currently in the Flatlands. So now let's check out the first clip.
The charms of the North seem entirely lost on you.
Still can't believe you're going. It's ridiculous even for you.
Where's your sense of wonder? The greatest structure ever built, the intrepid men of the Night's Watch, the wintry abode of the White Walkers.
Tell me you're not thinking of taking the Black.
So, in this clip, everyone is still in Winterfell, and Cersei is confused why Tyrion, of all people, would even want to go to Castle Black. And Tyrion replies by saying, "Where's your sense of wonder? The greatest structure ever built, the intrepid men of the Night's Watch, the wintry abode of the White Walkers." So firstly, let's take a look at intrepid. So intrepid is an adjective and is a fancy word for describing a person or action that is bold and brave. It suggests a lack of fear in dealing with something new or unknown. It's similar to the words brave, fearless, or courageous. And some common word pairs are an intrepid explorer, such as the men of the Night's Watch when they go north of the wall. You may also be an intrepid traveller, going to places never seen before. Or you may even be an intrepid reporter, such as this guy, putting your life on the line to report the news. Okay, and the next word we're going to take a look at is abode. So abode is a noun that basically just describes housing that someone is living in, which is more than just temporary housing. Think of the words home, residence, or dwelling. And one of the most common uses is to welcome someone into your humble abode. And then there is someone who is of no fixed abode, which just means to have no permanent place to live. And we also have the right of abode, which means you don't need permission from the government to enter the country and can live and work there. So let's move on to the next clip.
Well, even if the boy lives, he'll be a cripple, grotesque. Give me a good, clean death any day.
Speaking for the grotesques, I'd have to disagree. Death is so final, whereas life is full of possibilities. I hope the boy does wake. I'd be very interested to hear what he has to say.
So in this scene, Tyrion, Cersei and Jaime are talking about Bran Stark and how he may still live. When Jaime says, "Even if the boy lives, he'll be a cripple, a grotesque. Give me a good clean death any day." So let's take a look at the meaning of grotesque. Now grotesque can be an adjective or a noun, and it describes things that are very strange and ugly in an unnatural way, or abnormal and unnatural in shape or size. It's similar to words like hideous, weird, or deformed. So some things we may describe as being grotesque in appearance, such as this performer. Some things we may also refer to as having a grotesque style, such as this artwork with some half people and half animals, etc. And then there's grotesque creatures that just look plain hideous, like this thing. But let's move on to the next part.
Until your brother killed that king.
Yes, until my brother killed him. Life is full of these little ironies. My sister married the new king, and my repulsive nephew will be king after him.
So our next quote is coming from Tyrion again, when he responds to Jon Snow by saying, "Yes, until my brother killed him. Life is full of these little ironies. My sister married the new king, and my repulsive nephew will be the king after him." So let's take a look at repulsive. Now, repulsive is an adjective that describes something so disgusting you don't want to go near it. But it also has a meaning in the field of physics. So in physics, repulsive forces are the forces that push objects away from each other. Think of the words disgusting, repellent, or revolting. So you may find someone or something repulsive, such as this disgusting guy here, or you may encounter a repulsive smell, such as this large pile of turd we can see. And in terms of the physics meaning, there are repulsive forces pushing things away from each other, such as if you were throwing balls to each other while standing in boats. Now let's take a look at the meaning of irony. So irony is a noun that describes a situation that turns out to be amusingly different from what we expected. The meaning has some similarities to sarcasm, satire, or mockery. So one kind of irony is bitter, cruel, or tragic irony, such as this house that happens to be burning down in the middle of a flood. Kind of ironical. Another kind of irony can be more subtle, and we can say something has a hint of, a touch of, or a trace of irony. For example, the English saying, "nothing is written in stone," which actually just means things can change. Nothing is unchangeable. But someone thought it would be funny to put that saying, write it into stone. Or if you check out this statement someone made about speaking English in America, and yet they themselves misspelt your. So both of these ones have a hint of irony in them. Anyways, let's move on to the next clip.
And you? What's your story, bastard?
Ask me nicely and maybe I'll tell you, dwarf.
A bastard boy with nothing to inherit, off to join the ancient order of the Night's Watch, alongside his valiant brothers in arms.
So in this next clip, Tyrion mocks Jon Snow by saying, "A bastard boy with nothing to inherit, off to join the ancient order of the Night's Watch, alongside his valiant brothers in arms." So let's take a look at valiant. Now, valiant is an adjective that means very brave, especially in a difficult situation, or having or showing valor. It's very similar to the words brave, courageous, or heroic. So we can say things like, "Despite a valiant struggle by the wildebeest, in the end it was caught by the lion as it fell in the mud." Or we might say someone showed a valiant effort in battle, even though, like this guy, he was half the size of his opponent. Or we might even talk about a valiant soldier that put their life on the line in order to save others. And moving on again.
We were at war. None of us knew if we were going to go back home again. You're too hard on yourself. You always have been. I swear if I weren't your king, you'd have hit me already.
Worst thing about your coronation, I'll never get to hit you again.
Okay, so in this next scene, the king is talking with Ned Stark, and he says, "I swear, if I weren't your king, you'd have hit me already." And Ned replies by saying, "The worst thing about your coronation, I'll never get to hit you again." So coronation is a noun, which is the act or ceremony of crowning a new king or queen. Think of the words crowning, commission, or inauguration. And some common word pairs are to say a coronation oath, or to participate in this coronation ceremony, or again, to be given the coronation crown.
Even a million Dothraki are no threat to the realm, as long as they remain on the other side of the narrow sea. They have no ships, Robert.
There are still those in the Seven Kingdoms who call me usurper. The Targaryen boy crosses with a Dothraki horde at his back. The scum will join him.
He will not cross. And if by chance he does, we'll throw him back into the sea.
So in this next scene, King Robert and Ned Stark are discussing the potential foreign invaders from across the sea, when Robert says, "There are still those in the Seven Kingdoms who call me usurper. If the Targaryen boy crosses with a Dothraki horde at his back, the scum will join him." So usurper is a noun that describes someone that takes someone else's power, position, job, etc. when they don't have the right to. It's similar to supplanter, capturer, or robber. So we can say someone is a usurper of the throne, as they are not the rightful king or queen, and they just stole it from someone else. Or you might call someone an illegitimate or evil usurper, as they stole your husband or your wife away from you while you were still together. Anyways, for those of you that made it to the end, I'd like to thank you very much. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.